Welcome to Smart and Messy. I want to start with something very, very positive. Um, Anyone can be used for good in the Great Spirit or God, whatever you prefer to call Source. The great source, the creator, can use anyone for good. In 1881, I believe it was, there was a lady by the name of Clara Barton. They called her the angel of the battlefield. She was a humanitarian. She had been a teacher. Her father was in the military, and she saw something over in Europe and came over and duplicated in America. It was called the American Red Cross. She was a self-taught nurse. Her real name was Clara Barton, and she was extremely shy. So in a lot of cases, it made things a little bit difficult because she was so shy, but her drive to be an humanitarian and to help other people help her get past her shyness. Her courage and her bravery pushed her forward, though she was shy. So she didn't quite overcome the shyness completely, but her courage and bravery pushed her to do very important events that changed things here in America for the good. She rendered aid during the Civil War and also in the Spanish-American War. And she did things like that until she passed away. Well into her upper age, she continued to be and humanitarian in helping people. So it doesn't matter if you're shy. It doesn't matter if you think you're too old to do things. You're not, because some people are late bloomers and they start to do their best work after, I think they said, after the age of 65. And you can't even, I don't think, be a president until you're 45 or older. Now, there was also another lady by the name of Florence Nightingale. She actually changed the way people looked at nursing and caregivers, because most of the nurses were associated with prostitutes or given the negative stigma of being, let me get this exactly right because I don't want you to miss anything. I'm just going to show you that people from different walks of life influenced different professions and how they went about helping other people for the good. But before the professionalism of nursing, women in low social classes, prostitutes, performed nursing-like duties before Florence Nightingale came along. They did caregiving duties, which had a negative stigma because people back then, they thought really weird. They thought because these women were working very close with either soldiers or with men, that their nature of work was more like prostitution, even though after Florence Nightingale came in, she taught sanitation, professionalism, and things like that, and she changed the perception that nursing was only for prostitutes or low-class women. People back then, like I said, they thought really crazy, to tell the truth. They thought if you were washing a person's body, or if you were like rubbing lotion on their back, they associated that with prostitution. They were just weird. Well, their thought processes had not advanced so much, and nursing was quite new then. So during the war, prostitutes provided care in like hospitals. Hired nurses were seen as being vulgar, promiscuous, and drunks. Mostly during the earlier time, they kept associating them with prostitution because of the close, intimate nature of their work. They may not have even been doing anything actual, but because they were like touching bodies and everything, and the stigma back then, if you're doing that, you must be a prostitute. You know how people spread rumors, if you're doing like a certain something, they'll come up with something crazy. Well, anyway, Florence Nightingale changed the image by establishing like training, sanitation, standards, discipline, and quickly turned it into a reputable profession. So again, it doesn't matter what walk of life you come from. Your life can be used for good or for the glory of Source. I believe that God lives here inside. And the greatest honor that anybody can do is to reach out, help other people. These women weren't loud. I guess they say they were vulgar, some of them, but they didn't go around bragging about what they did. They didn't go about screaming about what they did. They just went ahead and they were helping people. Although some of them were actually prostitutes or from what they would consider low class. But due to Florence Nightingale, she changed all of that. She trained these women, and these women were they were willing to learn this trade in order to help other people and also make a living for themselves. So a lot of those women, if they were prostitutes, they stopped being prostitutes and changed their lives around in order to do humanitarian nurse type things. So God can use anybody, or the Great Spirit, or whatever you choose to call the Creator. The God in you elevates to another standard of humanitarian, and you ascend to something that goes from low vibe to a very high vibe. So never think you're left out of the loop, and never think yourself so lowly that You can't come up and be something great because you can do it. I've always told my children from the time they were little, you can do it. There is no such thing as can't. You can do it. And whatever you set your mind to do, whatever you want to do that's in good spirit, do it. Do it. I don't care if you're shy. I don't care if you came from the lowest low of life. I don't care. You can do it. Peace and love always. Smart and messy.